today is just as good. Like, I don't know, let me give you a quick preview of this. So I get told that I sort of like cut through things, so I'm just gonna sort of seamlessly go to it. I don't know how good I'm gonna be with this, but the preview for tonight, and it's gonna be just as good. So we have Doki versus Despi versus Michael Oku and Robbie X. So junior heavyweight guys representing, so my two favorites from New Japan and two of my favorite from the British scene. We then have Sanada Hiromu versus Luke Jacob and Ethan Allen. So if you watch my Progress and Rev Pro reviews, you'll know that those two from Manchester, phenomenal athletes against two of the best and most loved in Sanada and Hiromu. I don't know, because we're not in Manchester, I don't know how the feel is going to be for them compared to LIJ, because it's LIJ, isn't it? Then we've got the IWGP women's match, a big 10-man match, so between the members of the Empire, and I think like a mix of everyone. So we've got Ricky Knight Jr., Gabriel Kidd, Umino, and FTR. It's going to be random, but I love a good 10-man tag. I just think it's the most chaotic thing ever. So hyped up to that. Another Hontai Sakikaleo, Tama and Tana versus the Bullet Club. Then we have, obviously, bad dude Tito versus Kazuchika Okada. Obviously, because Jonah's not here, he was meant to have a match against Ishi. I never said, but at the end of Okada and Ishi versus Zack and Tito, my Suji came out to challenge Ishi, so that's going to be amazing. Another present versus future of New Japan. And then it is the main event, which is going to be Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tetsuya Naito. After everything that has gone on between them, this is going to be phenomenal. I can't believe I'm going to see this live. So yeah, it is currently now, I've been speaking for like 15 minutes according to my clock and this. And today is going to be phenomenal. I've got a meet and greet today where I'm meeting like Jay, Tana, Sanada, Hiromu and all of them. And then another amazing show. So yeah, again, I will try and vlog. If I'm too awkward, I probably won't, and I'll just do a really random voiceover when I get back. But yeah, it was an amazing birthday. It was a bit weird because I was by myself, and normally I have my mum next to me to talk to about it. So that's why I'm telling you guys. So yeah, get ready for Royal Quest Day 2. Okay, so this is Day 2. Sorry for the state of the hair. It was sweating on the walk here. So today, as you can see, I'm on the tiers, and I'm just going to quickly show you what my view is. Because I'm all looking, and not only will I probably get a better shot of the, my hair's getting a shot of the entranceway, but I've also got a really good one of the ring, and obviously because iPhones are stupid, I'm going to have to stop this, flip it over, and I give you a running commentary. So here, that's the floor, since I was sat like there yesterday, but it's an amazing view of the ring, and like I said, the ring entrance is really good, so hopefully, unlike yesterday, I can maybe get some clear shots of the wrestlers coming in, and yeah. Obviously the meet and greet has happened earlier, and I will tell you about all that in a separate part of the video. But yeah, that's my view, and I will get back to you when the show finishes, hopefully. Hi guys, surprise! Okay, so you probably would have expected this to be at the hotel in London, rather than seeing up my beautiful face in this vlog back at home, which obviously means we are way past the second night of Royal Quest. Like I said, this vlog was not probably going to go the way you expected. So what happened was basically after the meet and greet, I rushed back to the hotel, didn't have time, then went back to the venue. Then when I got back, I was tired and the weather had completely messed with my hair. So I was like, right, I can't do this today. And then if you follow me on social media at wrestling_chat and plug in that again, you'll have known that my travel day lasted a very long time and included a cancelled train, underground and overground, a very crowded bus because of the school run, and then finally getting home. So I am filming the next part of the video from home after I finished a day of work, but I can still remember everything that's happened. So of course, let's start with the meet and greet. So like many people going in, I was very frustrated to start with the meet and greets. So basically it was £230 to meet 10 people. I listed who I was going to meet in the first vlog. And then they were like, oh, well, here's some single tickets, which they previously said would only come out if they hadn't have sold the ultimate combo. So me being me, panicked bought it. However, it seems like everybody couldn't have been happier. Even if you bought singles, if you bought the combo, it was truly an unforgettable experience. So I'll tell you mine. I went in and I was already shaking, you know. I don't know why, especially since I've met some of them before, but it was truly a stressful moment if you know who I am anyway. So there was lines of tables, and because I was the early slot, I was one of the first people to get in. So they were all in tables, either like in groups of 2 or groups of 1 if they were a tag team. So I was like looking at, I was like, first thing I was like, I saw JY. I was like, yeah. But the line was big, so I was like, right, we'll hold that. And then I was looking around, caught the attention of the Good Brothers, was like, maybe later there's also a queue. So I looked, and the first person that was there was Aussie Open. So I went straight to them. They were obviously the nicest guys. Like, I knew that they were because I watched them perform, but they were so genuine. Literally, as soon as I went up to them, my nerves sort of went because they were so happy. They were like, hi. And I was like, hi. And they were like, hi. And so I chatted to them a bit about like me watching them and how I've seen them so many times. They said that we're like besties now. And we took some pictures. I got to see the beautiful belts. What was quite funny is that the guy who was taking pictures took some that way, landscape and portrait. And at one point, Dougzilla was like, can we take another one? Because I think I looked weird in it. I looked at it after. It wasn't just him. He was mid-laugh. I think I was mid-laugh. Fletcher and Kyle were just like, So yeah, it was a very cute moment. Like, I love Aussie Open so much. You know that. And the fact that after, like, I first saw them, like I told you, in 2018 when Kyle went against Jay White at RevPro. So to finally meet them came full circle. So I'm just going to quickly post my pictures here. I don't know if I'm going to do it the long way or the short way. But yeah, here's my picture with Aussie Open. After that, I can't really remember what order I did, so I'm just going to see what I can remember. The next person was Jay White. So I waited in the queue and I was absolutely terrified. Like, I don't know why. I met Jay twice. When I went to, like, literally as soon as the person in front of me had gone, Jay was like, Sana! And I was like, what? So I've met Jay twice before, and I probably not said, but on the second time I met Royal Quest 1, he did actually remember who I was, and I was a bit worried. I was like, he might remember me, but I'm not surprised if he doesn't, because it's been 3 years. But he did, and it was really nice. He remembers me so much. He was like, so what have you brought me this time? Because I always give him drawings. You might have seen my drawing on Twitter and stuff. So rather than get him to sign it, because it's his birthday coming up, I gave him the picture as a gift. And yeah, we just chatted for a bit. I was honestly, I was like, I didn't know if you'd remember me. He's like, of course I would. I showed him my Bullet Club t-shirt, well, his Jay White t-shirt, and he joked that it was very vintage because it was quite old. I got to hold a belt, and that was quite funny because in 2018 I held the US belt, and oddly enough the IWGP Heavyweight Championship is much lighter, which Jay said is because of the they've taken some layers off it. I can't remember what else we chatted. We did chat for a few minutes, because that's a good thing. Like, the meet and greet, everyone thought it might be quite pressured, but because they had such a limited amount of people coming in, you had like a few minutes to chat to the people you were with. Especially if it's, for example, like when I met Aussie Open, and then later on it was like Hikaleo and that. If there's no one behind you, you can just chat to them. Obviously, like, be respectful. Don't keep just talking nonsense, which is why I even limited my time. But yeah, it's really nice to see Jay again. I got a hug. Like I said before, it's all about being respectful. So I didn't just like go in for a hug. I did ask him. And yeah, it was really nice to meet him. I said it was my birthday the day before. So yeah, that was good. But yeah, here are my pictures with Jay White. And it was a truly amazing experience. And I'm so glad that I got to see him again. The other people I met LIJ, so Sanada and Hiromu. So Sanada I've met before, really nice, very handsome man. Like, I told him that I'd met him back in 2019, and he was asking me like where I was coming from, and I was like, Manchester. Hiromu, bless him. So I've been trying to learn Japanese, and I forgot everything. So I was literally like trying to be like talking to him. I was like, I know Japanese a bit, but like I've forgotten it all, because these Japanese wrestlers, they try and learn English, they communicate with us fluently in English, so I just wanted to do the same. But like, bless Hiromu, he was saying I was really good. He seemed really surprised when I told him that I was learning from home, and he was speaking Japanese, and actually I managed to catch what he was saying. So he was like, where are you studying? And he was like, at school. I was like, no, at home. He was like, oh, you are good. He was like, oh, just this. I was like, no, hita desu, which means I'm bad. It was nice that they appreciated it, but I knew it wasn't great. I then met Hikaleo. Wait, no, I met Tana first. That was a similar thing. I was like, oh, I met you a few years ago at Royal Quest. I told him it was my birthday. I also gifted him a picture. So yeah, you can see that somewhere around here. So yeah, really friendly. Like, he was so handsome, and he wished me a happy birthday. And when I told him my name, because I was like, I met him before, he was like, did I ask you how to spell it last time? I was like, yeah. But yeah, it was really sweet, so handsome. I'll post all my pictures with those three now. So with Hiromu, with Sanada, and with Tanahashi. Like I said, I don't know which one I'm going to post. So whether you're seeing my face or just a very handsome wrestler, I don't know. The next one was Hikuleo. This was really surprising for me. So I've never met Hikuleo before. At the first Royal Quest, I met Tama and Tangaloa. And I was worried about meeting Hikuleo because he's 6'6". But yeah, no, he was really nice. He joked at first. He was like, oh, do you want me to get a chair? Do you want me to crouch? But when I told him my name, oddly enough, he said he'd watch my videos. So that like shocked me. Yeah, we chatted for a bit about him being in England, like how long it's been. Also, after we got the picture taken, like, you have to post this on social media because it was truly hilarious, actually, like the height difference, which I will show you here. But yeah, Hikuleo, now I've met all three brothers. They are the nicest people. Their parents raised them so well. And yeah, it's great. We also chatted about like him turning on his brother, like turning on Bullet Club and going back to his brothers. It was great. Another person who oddly remembered who I was Will Ospreay. I don't know if he remembered me, but when he asked for my name, because we were chatting to him about like Rev Pro, I was like, oh, Sonal, and he was like, Sonal lad? And at this moment, I didn't think to ask like, how does Will Ospreay know my last name? Again, bizarre. I met him back in 2018. I thought it might be a bit different because he's a heel now, but he was still the nicest guy possible. Same with Okan, so friendly, like couldn't have been nicer. We chatted about Japan. He seemed a bit upset when I couldn't buy his extras. He's been flogging extras. He's got a lot of money. So yeah, here are my pictures with Ospreay and Okan. Again, two really nice guys. Okan obviously was here for excursions, so his English was flawless. And then I met the Good Brothers, who, you know what, I was a bit worried about them, but I think once they saw my Jay White t-shirt, they were like too sweet. I was like, my birthday yesterday, and bless him. So like Anderson was like, how old are you? I was like 26. He's like, well, I turned 27 recently. So yeah, that was a really great thing. Like, here are my pictures with, let me see, here are my pictures with Gallows and Anderson. Yeah, and I also got one with Gator, so I'll show you these. Somehow I'm gonna put these all in and you'll know. So yeah, that was my meet and greet experience. And I know I went on for a bit longer and you might not care, but don't worry, I'm getting to the show next. Okay, so I realised I chatted for a long time about my meet and greet and I don't want to make this vlog too long. So yeah, we'll quickly go on to the card straight away. So the first match was Doki and Desperado versus Robbie X and Michael Oku. Again, what can I say? I love watching Michael Oku and Robbie X, but my heart goes with Suzuki-gun. And like Despy and Doki got such a pop. It was crazy, really showcasing like the best of the junior heavyweight talent. So who knows, like maybe Robbie X and Michael Oku, we could see him in the next best of Super Junior, even a Super Junior Tag League, because they work really well together. We then had Luke Jacob and Ethan Allen, so the Young Guns, who I've spoken about many times, versus Sanada and Hiromu. Obviously going into it, Hiromu and Sanada were the firm favourite, but the duo from the Northwest did really well, and it was nice to see, like, even with the size difference, especially with Sanada, they really held their own. We got some fast-paced stuff, and at the end, obviously Ethan Allen got to the best. Sanada, obviously being a heavyweight, Hiromu picked up the Cruiserweight champion, the Rev Pro, and gave it back to Allen. So maybe that could be a future feud going on. It's really nice to see like the guys of New Japan like combining with the guys from the British and the Rev Pro scene, because these are guys, both of the companies I follow so much, and to see them wrestle and seeing the crowd supporting them all was great. We then had the Women's Championship match. I'm always really positive about women's wrestling, and New Japan, this match just wasn't it. Something didn't connect. You could see the crowd was trying to get behind it. I don't know whether Jazzy or it was Ava White, but something didn't connect. If you watch it, you'll sort of see it was kind of a bit of a letdown compared to the other matches, especially as this was a Stardom qualifier match for the IWGP Women's Championship. It should have had a different feel to it, rather than the fact that I felt that some of the multi-man tags actually did a lot better and actually had the wrestling that we wanted. I am not putting it on them, but how long was it? It was about 10 minutes. It did just feel a bit uncomfortable to watch. Nothing on the women's wrestling, it was just this particular match, because you know I'm a big advocate for women's wrestling. We then had a massive ass 10-man tag match between Ricky Knight Jr., UKC and Gabriel Kidd, Shota Umino, FTR, versus the members of the Empire. Obviously Aussie Open coming back from the amazing but very dangerous match they had. Ospreay was phenomenal. Okan was hilarious. What I loved was Gideon Gray. He went in and he was a comedy in it, and at one point he tagged out and he was on the floor, and literally Ospreay and Aussie Open was like, why are you here? Why did you tag out? it was a nice bit of comedy mixed in, and it proves that, like, you know what, whereas we have people like Dick Togo and Gedo, which you're a bit like, Gideon Grey, when he does wrestle, he brings the comedy into it. People were like, obviously his whole persona is very Tory, so a lot of the crowd were very much against it, but there was also some amazing wrestling. So you've got Aussie Open still in top form, Will Ospreay doing things like his interactions with FTR makes me excited to possibly see these in the future. Gideon Grey, I mean, you know what, props to you, really held himself. And you know what, you know how I feel about Shota. Gabriel Kidd doing phenomenally, especially against Ospreay. These two guys have known each other for so long as part of the British scene. So yeah, it was really good. As you can see, I'm going through this quite quickly because I feel like I don't want to give too many spoilers, especially because you'll be able to watch it later on this month. And also, I seem to have spoken a lot about my meet and greet, so, you know. We then had Bullet Club versus Tama Tonga Tangaloa and Hiroshi Tanahashi. Again, another amazing match. It was quite cute at one point. Anderson started like petting Jay on the head. There's some really nice interactions building up for Mbepu, the never open weight match between Hikuleo and Anderson, and then the world heavyweight title match between Tama Tonga and Jay. There was some really nice bits, especially at the end when like Tanahashi picked up both the belts. I was like, ooh, 2 belts, Tana, and gave it to them, and you saw the 4 men facing each other. It's going to be really exciting. Obviously, you know I'm Team J for the World Championship, but you know how I feel about the Never title not being with a New Japan wrestler. So Hikuleo, I'd really like him to have that as his first his first title here in New Japan. It'd be very good and a great way for him to sort of slowly rise up the ranks to where I think he can be, because he's very good. We then had Okada versus bad dude Tito. Again, nothing. It was an amazing match. Like, you got the heel in Tito, the babyface in Okada. I sort of feel like Okada maybe could have had more to play with. But you know what? Great interaction. At one point, some stupid like fan was like, "Oh, fuck Okada," and Okada was really confused. And then everyone was like, "Fuck you, fan." I mean, apart from this one guy, like the crowds were really good. Like, no inappropriate chanting. Like, properly getting into it. So you know what, if you're like one fan, fuck you for fucking Okada. Saying fuck you Okada, fucking Okada is a different thing. Oopsie. And maybe also it wasn't as good because this next match was phenomenal. Obviously it's meant to be Ishi versus Jonah, but Jonah couldn't come, so he was replaced by Yota Tsuji, and I am so proud of my little Yota. Like, honestly, going into it, Yota's got this sort of new persona. He's very cocky, he has a massive smile, but his style has come on. Like, he's been in the UK maybe less than a year. He's already come on leaps and bounds. Him and Ishi, the big strong men, were obviously going at it. Ishi was allowing Tsuji to shine, but also to cement himself as a top player in New Japan. However, like, the crowd was firmly Ishi throughout. However, at one point, our Tsuji was, you know, we've seen him do the lucha stuff. He was throwing that out like it was no tomorrow. There was flips, sentons, like, honestly, like a Hurricane Rana. Bear in mind, Tsuji is still a very big boy, and the fact he did this all was absolutely amazing. And I think, bar the main event, probably one of my favourite matches of the entire weekend. Like, truly phenomenal. Obviously, it would have been one of the top if it wasn't for the main event, which was Zack versus Naito. Now, as expected, it was crazy. It started off with a lot of teasing, so Naito taking off his pants very, very slowly. I think it's to make up for the fact that Tai Chi wasn't there. And then in between that, there was like teasing, having to go at red shoes when there was in holes. For example, at one point, Naito had Zack in a hole. I think it was like a leg lock, but he wouldn't let go of the ropes. So Zack was like, "What are you doing, ref?" And really good. There was some taunting, some amazing mat work from both Naito and Zack. High octane, high energy stuff from Naito. Even Zack, when he brings out that very rare around the world DDT. And it had everyone on the edge of their seats the entire time, because you legit didn't know how it was going to be. So what we did see was, in the end, a win from Naito with a classic Destino, which is always great. And we ended the night with an LIJ roll call. Honestly, again, I don't want to tell you too much, but the match itself was phenomenal. It was a mix of everything we love, wrestling at its heart, but also personality. The entertainment, but without overflowing. Naito and Zack have always had this amazing chemistry with each other, built on the differences, and this was literally exactly the same. One of their best matches together, maybe because I was there live, but the perfect way to end it. So yeah, that's a quick whistle stop. So I'm going to quickly show you all the signed pictures I got, because they're quite cute actually. We've got Aussie Open. Whether you'll see a new setup, I don't know. Gato. I'm surprised at how quiet Gato was. Jay. Also, thank you for giving them gold pens, New Japan. Hikaleo. Will Ospreay. The Good Brothers. And Okada. Tanahashi is in here somewhere as well, but I cannot find him at the moment. But yeah, honestly, it's been an amazing weekend, and I really hope you enjoyed coming on the ride with me. And if you did, remember, hit that subscribe button. It's not going to be like this every week, but I will continue posting about stuff. So remember, hit that like button, comment if you were there. What were your favourite matches? What were your experiences meeting them? And if you didn't, if you saw things on social media, what are your thoughts? Remember, follow me on social media at wrestling_chat, and I will be back very soon. Bye!